Welcome to highlights of HRZN Racing League Season 7, Round 7 from Hungary, the Hungaroring, the destination for this round. Tight, twisty, technical Eastern European circuit. Before we get there, let's take a look at where the championship lies coming into this one. Took his third victory of the season in Mexico in fairly commanding fashion. Six Pompano has 2 victories, while defending champion I'm Your Mate has 1, alongside Stomp, who also holds 1 victory this season. There was a 10.2 second gap to Six Pompano, who got driver of the day in Mexico, with Tommy taking that victory. The Scottish was third, Arbon 4th on debut. Ahead of Storm, Vampire, Bunny's Vengeance, Syme, who was the cleanest driver. Then it was Baza, Rover, Ghost Viper gets points on debut, and we nicked P12 and a point on the road. Six Pompano leads the way, with Tommy Ash now in second place, closing in on his rival. I'm Your Mate slipped to third, ahead of Vampire. Storm and Bunny still ahead of the Scottish in terms of dividing the Platinum class drivers. Ghost picks up points in 18th, and Arbon moves immediately into 14th, while we get into double figures. Six Pompano leading the way in Platinum as well, ahead of Tommy, who's now just 2 points clear of I'm Your Mate. Vampire sits 4th, 10 points behind defending champion I'm Your Mate, and the Scottish brings up the rear in Platinum, but is closing the gap on the rest of his rivals. In Bronze, Bunny's Vengeance leads the way by 14 points, but Storm is staying very close on his heels. Bowser also passes 100 points and sits in third, but has at least 21 points to catch up with the Northern Irishman. In Silver, Godrado jumped Dabosaurus now by 14 points after both Dabosaurus and Vibs missed the last round. The American Mercedes driver looking fairly strong in Silver. And in Bronze, Simon Celine continues to lead, but we are now just within earshot of 100 points. Rover still not that far behind us. It's going to be close to be 4, I think, between all 3 of us in Bronze. And D-Class exploded into life. Arbon took the D-Class victory ahead of Ghost Viper, Shawnee P and Senior. Alfie, the only other driver to have driven this season but didn't manage to finish, while Andy and Sykes Snopes still yet to drive. And in the Constructors, Red Bull lead kicked Sauber by 3 points. Mercedes moved ahead of Ferrari by just 2 points, while McLaren are 3 points further back, and only 12 clear of Aston Martin, all very tight amongst the top 6. My team Williams in 7th, but only 2 clear of Haas, with RB9 behind us. Alpine are in 10th, and HRZN Racing closed right up with a good result last time out. The Hungaroring was the first track behind the Iron Curtain to have had a race held, and it's been a staple on the calendar ever since. Let's take a look at Budapest's Crown Jewels. The Hungaroring in Budapest, 14 turns, 4.381 kilometres. Lewis Hamilton holds the record for the most victories here with 8, but it's Jacob and Vampire who hold victories in HRZN. Often described as Monaco without the walls, this start-finish straight has seen a lot of revision with the new grandstands and paddock building as you head down towards turn number 1, heavy braking as you head down the hill. Got to get close to the apex to try and slingshot it out, run wide and get another dose of DRS if you're lucky enough down towards turn number 2. Again, another cambered corner heading downhill, waiting to get on the power before you flick through turn number 3 and don't have any Damon Hill flashbacks from 97. As you head up the hill towards turn number 4, flick across the curb as best you can, try not to run too wide before heading into turn number 5. That inside curb, not as murdery as it used to be on these games as you head into turns 6 and 7, the little chicane in the middle. Try and take as much speed as you can before heading into turn number 8 and then straight away into turn number 9. There's no respite in this part of the circuit before you run through turn 10, gaining speed as you go before heavy braking once again into turn number 11. Try and get the car turned and straight on the power. Down towards turn 12, real heavy braking zone, ride the curb on the inside if you can, and then it's a case of just waiting to get on the power through 13. There's a dip before you head into the corner, so it can always throw you off. And then it's a long wait for power through turn 14, but if you can get the right angle, get on the power quick enough, you can start the lap in earnest. Monaco without the walls this week then. Let's take a look at how the grid lined up for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Tommy Ash took pole position ahead of championship rival Six Pompano. Storm slotted into third ahead of Vampire and Bazza. Rover right up in the higher midfield ahead of Godrado and Dabosaurus. Shawnee P took a 9th spot and we took 10th, mostly down to default than pace. That's because Cyber Celine crashed out in Q2, so would line up 11th ahead of Iron who's starting at the back in every race this season, and the Scottish joined late, so lines up 13th and will have to fight his way through the field. So the scene is set then for round 7 of the season. Let's take a look at what happened in Hungary. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights and 5. And away we go at the Hungaroring. Finding myself making places, but I'm in the middle of the road. It's not really where I want to be down into turn 1. We gently clip the back of the Haas. Cyber Celine's on our outside. We've, I think, jumped Rover. Godrado runs wide, nudges us slightly. Cyber Celine does go through. We just about hold off Dabosaurus there. The Scottish has gone past us. Anyway, it had also gone past us. I've lost 1 off the start. Mercedes just sort of drifted a little wide through turn 2. And as he did, we were there on the outside trying to take advantage. Didn't really work out for us. Scottish trying to take advantage ahead, trying to get past Cyber Celine. Get a clean lap at least. It's a good start. Scottish looks to the inside of Cyber Celine. He'll be on the outside for 2. I'm not entirely sure how that's an exceeded track limits, but apparently it is. Run wide there, we pick up our first penalty.
It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
There's another warning. Shawnee P already on 6 seconds, but I don't think we're massively far behind as Rover's clambering all over the back of us. We get another warning. So defensive. Hold Rover out. Going to be the cork in the bottle at the moment. Try and switch back on Dabosaurus. On everyone wide, and I think that's going to let Rover through. Maybe not. And Rover's through. We are in 13th at last. I think that's probably it for this race.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap.
We box at the end of this lap, which is earlier than anticipated, but extremely high front left wear.
Understood, copy that.
Rover's jumped Cyber Celine, so Rover winning class at the moment. Well, as you'd expect, really. He does have the pace on the pair of us.
Okay, let's go now. Come on. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
And away
Okay,
we go,
stay
back
clear
out
of the
into
white
this
line on the
race.
exit. We'll
We're
receive
going to
a
get
penalty
lapped
for dangerous
soon
driving
enough.
off onto the track.
Supposedly going to the end on these tyres. A Ferrari out in front. I think that is a Ferrari out of front. Wow, my mate has stormed off into the lead, although that might be down to pit stops. Not really paying attention as Godrado and Shorty P are both in. They should both get out easily ahead. Shorty P just heading out now. We're not going to catch up. They'll be into turn one well before us. In the pits and will likely be back out well in front of us, or will they actually? We have managed to jump Cyber Celine. That's unexpected. Maybe they had damage they had to repair. They are back in the points. At least something. Cyber to the outside in turn one. We brake late. We overshot a touch. Cyber now alongside again. It was a scruffy lap last time around. Managed to just about hold our bronze rival off, but I don't know if it's going to be for very long. Obviously to the inside. I think that's probably going to be it. Can we switch back? I don't think we can. Back down to last place. Dabosaurus is in. We might jump the RB. We do. Only just, but we do. So we're back in the points again. Albeit probably briefly. As Cyber Celine gets past Shawnee P. Oh, Cyber Celine, I think, has had an instant yellow flag.
Just focus on the driving.
Shawnee P moved ahead of the Sabre. Rover in now as well. Doesn't look like Cyber's got any damage, and Dabosaurus now on our tail as well.
Green flag.
Oh, and I think that's the one on the Mercedes off with the other Williams of Baza. Dabosaurus tries to slingshot around the outside. Celine is off the road. We have to avoid. While also trying not to get in Dabosaurus's way. We're forced wide. Cyber Celine's going to go try go around the outside of us. Force his way at the inside. DRS for the first time in this race.
Might make a mistake.
I was going to say it'd be a bit of a dive there, as we have to sort of half back out of it. EP though struggling and has 12 seconds of penalties, so we are net P12 at the moment. Nice to solidify that with an on-track pass, rather than having to rely on post-race penalties as we run wide. Leaders behind us.
Blue flag.
To the inside. I think we ghost anyway, but it's just in case we don't. We don't ghost. Since when's ghosting off again?
We're not racing the car behind. Let them pass when you can.
We got 6 way. On to our final lap of this one. And I honestly think we're going to fall out of that 6-second window.
Managing your tyres. Manage your tyres.
There it is. We are going to finish stone dead last here, I think. Unless Shawnee P ahead makes some kind of mistake. Or picks up another 3 seconds in the final lap. He takes his 4th victory of the season. We run very wide there, doing everything we can to try and claw that 6/10 back. It's not going to happen though. We are going to finish 13th and last. Much like Brazil, just a disappointing day. Half a second off in the end. A fairly dismal Hungarian Grand Prix for us. Let's take a look at the results and what that does to our championship. Win number 4 of the season for Tommy Ash, who's looking more and more like a championship threat as the rounds go by. He took that victory by 9.5 seconds to I'm Your Mate, got driver of the day. Six Pompano had a pit lane speeding penalty which dropped to 3rd ahead of the Scottish. Storm, Vampire, Godrado, Rover, Bazza, Dabsaurus, Cybersleeve and Shawnee P all took points. Who was the only driver not to score, finishing 13th, quite a distance off the rest of the field. The gap now 14 points at the top of the overall standings, with Tommy Ash closing in on the Red Bull driver there. I'm Your Mate also passed 100 points, while Storm remains ahead of Vampire. Bunny's Vengeance slips behind the Scottish. Shawnee P gets on the board and moves into 19th, whereas we stay 16th. In Platinum, it is now just a 12-point gap between Six Pompano and Tommy Ash, and a 9-point gap further back to I'm Your Mate. Vampire yet to break the 100-point barrier, but the Scottish is now 14 points behind him, so it's going to be very tight amongst all 5 of them towards the end of the season. Storm takes the lead in gold after Bunny missed the race. He is still though 14 points clear of Bazza, who sits in 3rd, so it's going to be quite interesting to see if the 2 chasing Storm can catch him before the end of the season. In silver, Godrado remains ahead by 13 points from Dabsaurus, who had a fairly solid result in Budapest. Vibs yet to drive after a couple of rounds out, so some way off his silver class rivals. We lose ground on Cyberceline. We are just 30 behind now, but 7 clear of Rover. It's tight between all 3 of us. With a double points round at the end of the season, we may find ourselves finishing 3rd or even 1st. It's going to go either way towards the end of the year. And in D-Class, Shawnee P takes the lead as the only driver to have competed in 2 races consecutively. Arbon slips to 2nd, Ghost Viper to 3rd, and Senior to 4th, whereas the bottom 3 of that class remain as is. Changes afoot in the constructors though. Sauber now lead Red Bull by 9 points. Ferrari not far ahead of Mercedes or McLaren. Aston Martin also getting involved in that fight, and Haas move up to 7th, jumping Williams. 6 points clear of us. We're 10 points clear of RB, while Horizon now 3 points behind Alpine could overtake the French constructor. So that was Hungary, a very disappointing race, not a circuit I'm particularly fond of, so it wasn't unexpected. But we come away from here knowing the next time out at Monza is to be much better. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Take care. I'll see you for the next one.